Welcome. This is Alpo. I'm so happy to be here. We've been having technical difficulties. We've been working that out, and we're back. And let's get right into what's going on. Things that I've been discovering here over the last couple of weeks. So many things to talk about. One of the things that became even more aware of me is that seeing the what's going on in the world, and it comes back here is this: have fear or have no fear. The robots are here. You see, something has changed right now and right today, and that the world has changed as we know it. And if you've been watching the past, all these science fiction movies, you know that yesterday's future is now today. We saw Terminator, remember the Terminator movies, The Matrix. We've seen it. They may be shown in different lights, but right now, the future is now today. And it is my understanding, I don't even have to make a prediction, but the world is changing. And we have to see how it's replacing the human spirit in this experiment. Now, over the last 2 years, over 5 million people have left the workforce. Now, they dubbed this name the Great Resignation. And so this great resignation of people that have decided, for whatever reasons, they've gotten to other businesses. They've decided to retire early. It was their time to retire. Some probably died from COVID. So these 5 million have left the force, which the employment force, which again, what else is going to happen here? What's setting this up? Because it seems like, well, 5 million people are not that many, or at least these are the statistics that have been revealed to us. Now, the one thing we haven't seen, though, it's what's coming here, and it's going to be coming in this month, and also in January, and then millions are not resigning, but they're going to be fired. And for the most part, those who don't comply with the upcoming mandate. And so instead of replacing them with people, because they won't have the people to replace them, so this next thing, so we just had the Great Resignation. Now we're getting ready to have the Great Replacement. And those replacements are going to be robots. Now let's go through an example of some of the robots that you may not have seen, but some of them you have. But these are going to be the ones that really are going to be replacing. Now, this is a robot that you've probably seen at the Amazon. You've seen these in restaurants, okay? And they're going to be able to do enough work to replace 3 workers, okay? Here's one you've probably seen also. These are robots, by the way, okay? You might say, well, they're just an arm. They have no eyes. They don't look like Mo, Larry, and Curly, but no, they don't have to be, okay? So these are I'm not saying they're not simple, because they are very complex in that they do all the ability and can lift and do everything without breaking down or anything like that, okay? So, but what has changed is, and this is part of my discovery here recently, and this is really what I want to pass it on to you, is what's changed. with Mo, Larry, and Curly, the pictures we saw earlier, is the muscle. Okay, so as you look on the left, you see the muscle relaxes in a robotic arm. And then you see it to the right where it's contracted. Now, this contraction heats up. So that muscle there, which basically is now going to look like this. This is going to be like an arm muscle. Okay. All right. So you see this in an actual skeletal. Okay. You see the feet. All right. So basically this is what's called a polymer, a polymer muscle. All right. And basically this muscle, when put together, can lift up 5,000 times its weight. So when it heats up and this contracts, it's just like when we work out. We got to get our muscles warm. Which it automatically heats it, and it can lift up to 5,000 times the pounds of that. So you have a 100-pound robot of muscles. You do the math. So you have something like this that can lift up huge boxes that a normal man can't lift up. Also, going to be robots in the military. This little guy can carry a lot of weight on its back. Plus, it has 6 guns, all kinds of sensors around it. And it's going to replace basically a lot of the military. So now you're going to see these. You can see them in the, there's a couple of them there. So they're going up and they can investigate. They've got the back of the patrol here. So you're going to have these kind of robots that are going to be in the military. Also, you're going to have robot pickers. Okay. So they're going to be out in the field and they're going to be able to pick up a ripe strawberry and leave the strawberry that's not ready. They have machines now that literally can go up and down the field. They're lining them up with these robots now, and they can literally monitor the soil and read, infrared. They can see bugs. They can do all the analytics, including the picking, without having to have a bunch of pickers behind it. Also, you're going to have delivery robots. Robots that, you can have behind you. Robots like these, where all your books and everything is behind you and they're carrying. It's like having your own carrying case on wheels. So, you see, it's not just going to be Mo, Larry, and Curly here. Also, there's going to be robotic planes. This plane right here works on drones technology, can fly 9 people without having a pilot. These are the things that are coming. Now, again, we are this is part of the great replacement. Okay. And so what and whom are these who are these robots going to replace? Let's talk about it. Fast food workers. You won't only need but maybe 1 or 2 in a building people, because they'll prepare the food, pack the food, they can take the money, and they can also go to the door and deliver your food. As we said earlier, farming pickers. Why are you going to need farming pickers? You're out in the heat. You're out in the rain. you're you don't need people to do the picking anymore, because you know that a robot can do it just as well and won't take a break. Number 3, phone operators. So you already know that now when you call the bank, what are you talking to? You're talking to a robot. And then this particular robot will be able to speak to you. This robot will talk to you as if you're talking to a human being. That's how sophisticated it's going to be. Nurses. There's been a shortage of nurses. They are making them right now. There's over 2 million. They go up and down the hall. They go right by the patient. They scan the patient. They can tell everything going on with the patient. They can check whether or not they're getting the fluids in their body, if the needle doesn't connect properly. And the things that they can't fix, they'll have one nurse who's just basically monitoring them. So you're not going to need nurses. Also, surgery doctors. I've seen videos and things where the surgeons now are doctors, are robots. They know how to perform different procedures. And because they have every kind of eye around them, they don't get nervous. They take completely the emotion and the error out of a surgeon's hands. Number 6, assembly workers. Now, I worked at Ford Motor Company. They had robots even back then, but they were similar to those one-arm robots that I showed you earlier. But just now think about it. You got a robot that can lift 5,000 times its weight. I used to lift up 45-pound trailer hitches, 600 in a night, 45 pounds. I was worn out when I got off work. If you got a robot doing it, that robot never gets tired. As we mentioned earlier, military fighters. They'll send in the drones and the robots first. But it also depends on who's more valuable, the human or the robot. But remember, a robot is a one-time cost. Police officers, this is coming. You start defunding the police, and now they'll just have robots and drones. It's coming. It's coming. SWAT team, this is all to go along with that, right? Send in a SWAT team. Imagine the athletic ability of a robot. Can climb a house from the side, can jump off a roof. Just think about it. Think about how fast they're going to be. You would never be able to run from one. The bomb squad, they'll be the ones to go in. They'll have all the instruments to tell whether or not it's going to go off and how to take the detonation out of it. So if the police officers stop showing up, the SWAT team stopped showing up, the bomb squad. See, this all can happen just because of this mandate. Now, whether or not it was planned, it's hard to say, but they seem to go hand in hand. Number 8, firemen and firewomen. This could be all from the mandate being replaced by the robots. Yeah, you can even get pets. Imagine, you're so busy, you get a robot pet, you turn it off during the day, turn it back on when you go home. They don't pee, they don't poop. You just turn them on. They're going to look just like dogs. Fur and everything. Number 10 in landscaping. Again, the guy who comes and cuts my tree. You just get a robot. Robot will climb up there real quick and cut everything down. It'll be quick and safe. Number 11, girlfriends and boyfriends already right now, there's sex robots, male and female, that are out there right now. Have all the expressions. If you saw my trailer on Facebook that you're going to see, or go back if you're on Facebook and just check it out. They already have them. And their expressions are literally expression. So much expression in them. So this is just to name a few. Okay. So now look at it as a business. Okay. Look at it like a business. All right. I'm the boss, and I've been going through this whole pandemic, and I want to stay in business. Okay. So now what are my advantages? Even though I like you, you've been a faithful employer for 10 years, whatever it is, 10 minutes. But the advantage is my robots never get sick. Never. I have a service guy come out of something and needs the part replaced. They can do their own diagnostics. So they never get sick. Number 2, they never complain. This work is too hard. No. They never complain. They're going to be at the job no matter what. And they never take breaks. They don't take breaks. Number 4, they have to pay them no benefits. Right? No benefits. I'm sorry, John, but you cost me X amount of money in taxes every year. And you've taken off a month of COVID this year. And that stopped my productivity. And I still had to pay you. So with a robot, you don't. They take no vacations. John, you want to take a vacation? What do you mean? John, I got this big shipment coming in. I've got this new job. What do you mean your daughter all of a sudden decided she's getting married? Don't you know I got this big thing going on here and I need you? So no vacations. And also no children. That's it. And they never leave the business. John's running late. If I had a robot, all I'd do is come in here and turn them on. They never leave. And one price, one time. Some of these robots, they're as cheap as $2,000, and they're, they go into the hundreds. But you're going to be able to get one probably somewhere between 50 and 100 for a really incredible robot. And then the price will be going down. So you only have to pay for, John, I only got to pay for you one time. One time. I paid $50,000. I got a deal to buy 100 of you. And now I don't have to pay anybody anything. So this is just to name a few of the benefits for these guys to invest in robots. And they are. We won't recognize business within the next year, ladies and gentlemen. So this brings up a real major question. Major question. What do we do to survive? Boss, there's nothing out there for me. What do I do? Well, I'm sorry, John, you'll have to figure out how to reinvent yourself. Well, John's maybe 50, 55, or John is however old. There's not enough jobs now to go around. And so the government knows this is coming. And this is why they've been talking about UBI, right? Or universal basic income, where everybody gets a certain amount from the government. But the question is for how long? How long do they give? Okay, so what else can we do? Well, we can become a robot assembly worker. And that's until they make enough robots to build themselves. So I want you to take your thinking cap, and I want you to name me one thing a robot won't be able to do. Now, I pondered this. And, some of the more obvious things came up. Okay. Number one, have a baby. Yet. I had a show not too long ago. Sophia the robot said she wanted to have a baby. And the way everything is being made organically, there's anything possible. Anything. So that's yet. That's what first came to me. Another word was politics. Politics. Could they run for political office? That's a question. Politics. They might be put in charge. They might be the ones that we put the input in because they have all the information, everything, more information that we can come back to. So maybe yes. Yes. This is just a question. Create saliva. I'm like, wow, create saliva. Sex. Well, at the end of the day, all these little questions the answer is no. They are not limited. Now, one of the things that's also coming is the metaverse and all these experiences of putting the goggles on, and you may be making a living in the metaverse. That's certainly going to be a thing. Okay, so the metaverse is coming. The metaverse is here. Metaverse is not going anywhere. So there's that expression that you're going to have nothing and be happy. And that to me, I couldn't figure out. But now I kind of have my own theory about it. I want your opinion about it. Is that in the metaverse, most people are going to be spending their time there. So you're going to be able to go to football games, basketball games, concerts. You're going to be going to business meetings. You're going to meet. There's going to be dating lines where people actually meet each other. As this metaverse gets better, you'll be able to look just like me, not like old Mo, Larry, and Curly. where you'll be able to actually see your own self. But again, you have two choices. You can be yourself, or you can be a GIF, an avatar. And so basically, I believe that the day is coming where you don't even have anything basically in your apartment. You have an open room and you have a bed, so that you can have enough room in your apartment or in your space to be participating in the metaverse. You'll be able to go to the store. So part of that business is the UBI. And it works if you think about it, because no more traffic. No more traffic. Everybody's in the metaverse. So emissions go down. Right? You can go in and eat food. It pretends in your mind. So this is part of people who are obese. You can go eat all the food you want, and then you just come out and drink a shake or something. You see? Now, how long that works, I don't know. What I do know is that yesterday's future is now upon us right now. And so we're going to be talking a little bit more about this, because this is about the human spirit experiment. And our spirit is becoming an experiment. And we need to understand it more and more as we keep going forward. So I want to thank you. It's good to be back. I will be back. I'm going to be doing shows now. So I'm still working on the technical, and things are going to change on the 1st of January. Again, this is my first year being in the show, and I want to make it as best informative, as helpful as possible. And I thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you next time. Until then, may you be blessed within the spirit of your being.